Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Nazrin bin Muhammad Arif, and today I will be talking about client server proposal. Today here with me is Ahmad Luqman bin Anas. We both from GCN 2A. As you can see here, this is our network diagram. From here, first you can see the ISP, and then the KPM router 1, KPM router 2, the academic building A, which is we have a switch 1 with a student with a PC that can occupy 100 students. At the same with academic building B, there is a switch 2 that can occupy a student with 100 hosts. And here we can see the switch 3, which is from the administration building, which it can occupy to 50 hosts. For academic staff, 30 hosts, administrative, 20 hosts, and the KPM server. We here make a two router because of the scalability of the network diagram. Because if one of the router is malfunction, then it happens that still two of the building can work properly.
For our client's computer hardware specification or student's computer, we are using Intel Core i5 12 Gen for our processor and 12 GB of DDR4 RAM with a storage of 512 GB SSD. We are using integrated Intel UHD graphic card. And lastly, we are using Wi-Fi 6 for our connectivity. Secondly, we have file server hardware specification. We are using Cisco UCS C260 M2. This brand of server has a processor of Intel Xeon W, a memory of 24 gigabyte of RAM, and has a storage of 4 terabyte. For RAID, we are using RAID 6 for the data redundancy. This Cisco UCS C260M2 server also has a built-in management, which was named by Cisco Integrated Management Controller (IMC). The power supplies that the server are using are three types of power supplies, which are dual, hot swappable, and redundant power supplies. For our client or students system software, we are using Windows 10 Pro. This Windows 10 Pro Windows 10 Pro are suitable for client server networking because it has a built-in remote desktop. Its function was to allow user to remotely access and control their workstation from other device. Secondly, they have a built-in group policy, which allows administrators to centrally manage and configure settings for all client computers on the network. Thirdly, they have a built-in BitLocker, which provides encryption for hard drives and removable storage devices, helping to keep the data secure. Lastly, it has a Windows Update for Business, which allows administrators to manage updates and upgrade for all client computers on the network. For the server system software, we are using Windows Server 2021. This is suitable for client-server networking because it has a built-in Active Directory which allows administrators to centrally manage and authenticate users and devices on the network. Secondly, have a built-in group policies which allows administrators to centrally manage and configure settings for all clients' computers on the network. Thirdly, it has a built-in remote desktop services, which its function was to allows multiple users to remotely access and use server resources such as app and their data. Fourthly, we have improved security features, which includes enhanced security features such as virtualization, best security (VBS), and credential guard to protect the operating system. Lastly, this Windows Server 2021 has the ability to run Linux workloads on Windows using Windows subsystem for Linux.
After that, for the user software, this is the 6 software that we use, which is Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Google Chrome, Google Drive, and Microsoft Teams. For the user software, the conclusion of requirement, a processor need to be a x64 or x86 processor. The RAM must be 8 GB. The storage 256 GB. Graphic card is integrated graphic card. The user software that we use is VirtualBox. For the system software, McAfee Security, which offers a wide range of security including antivirus, firewall, intrusion prevention, and data loss prevention (DLP) technologies. DHCP server. DHCP dynamic host configuration protocol. Server is a network service that automatically assigns IP addresses and other network configuration to client devices on a network. It eliminates the need for manual configuration of IP addresses and other network settings on each individual client's device. In an organization, a DHCP server can be applied in the following ways. Here are the few ways in which DHCP server can be applied to an organization. First, DHCP discovery. A device such as a computer or mobile device sends a broadcast message requesting an IP address. Second, DHCP offer. The DHCP server receives the request and sends a broadcast message offering an available IP address, along with the subnet mask, default gateway, and DNS server information. Third, DHCP request. The device selects one of the offered IP address and sends a unicast message to the DHCP server requesting the offered IP address. And the last one, DHCP acknowledgement. The DHCP server assigns the requested IP address to the device and sends an acknowledgement message to confirm the assignment.
Okay, for the DNS server, if you are questioning what is a DNS server and its function, a DNS or its full name was a domain name system. Server is a network service that translates human-friendly domain names, such as www.example.com, into the IP addresses that computers use to identify each other on the internet. It allows users to access websites and other resources on the internet using domain names instead of IP address. When a user enters a domain name into a web browser or clicks on a link, the browser sends a request to a DNS server to resolve the domain name to an IP address. The DNS server responds with the IP address of the server hosting the requested website or resources. In our organization, a DNS server can be applied in the following ways. Firstly, a client, such as web browser, sends a query to the local DNS resolver, typically provided by the client's internet service provider, ISP. Secondly, the local DNS resolver checks its cache to see if it has a recent copy of the domain's name IP address. If it does, it returns the IP address to the client. Thirdly, if the local DNS resolver doesn't have a recent copy of the domain name's IP address, it sends a query to a root DNS server. The root DNS server is responsible for maintaining a directory of top-level domains such as .com, .org, and .edu. Fourthly, the root DNS server returns the IP address of a top-level domain DNS server, such as the .com DNS server to local DNS resolver. The fifth step was the local DNS resolver sends a query to the top-level domain DNS server, which is responsible for maintaining a directory for all second-level domains within the top-level domain. The sixth step was the top-level domain DNS server returns the IP address of the authoritative DNS server for the specific domain to the local DNS resolver. The local DNS resolver sends a query to the authoritative DNS server, which has the most up-to-date information about the domain name's IP address. Lastly, the authoritative DNS server returns the IP address to the local DNS resolver, which is in turn returns the IP address to the client. That's all from us. Thank you.